All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? I'm in my prime.
Hey, Mike. Ain't it cool?
First you want to kill me, now you want to kick me. Blow. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
What's up, everyone? DJ Anubis with you here on the Metal Town Radio podcast with another movie review. And this time today, I went to go see Fantastic Four: First Steps in the theaters. Took my mother-in-law, who doesn't get out much because I'm taking care of her when she's kind of like healing herself. She's just getting over leukemia and stuff. So just kind of look over her a little bit while my wife is working and whatnot. So I help out around the house and doing stuff with her, but getting her out every once in a while. And she is a movie fan. So it was nice to get her out of the house for a little bit and go see this. And she really enjoyed herself. Just to kind of like touch up on how we got here. I initially had no intentions of going to see this in the theaters. Basically, I kind of liked the first film, like the one from the mid 2000s or whatever. But you know, again, when they were announcing this movie, right, this is one of the problems we run into with social media and everything else is they say, oh, well, they changed this character. Oh, they have this person, or, you know, they don't like a person because of their politics, or, you know, just one thing after another. So you start to kind of like question yourself. So I do kind of like to wait sometimes when that shit happens, just to kind of let the hoopla either one way or the other die down. But I didn't plan on going out to see anything. But the more and more as the reviews came in and people that I know within the sci-fi collective that went to see it, so those are guys like I trust their judgment. So when they were coming back and saying, "Well, this movie is fantastic," no pun intended. I said, okay. And then I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes and some of the reviews, and it's doing very, very well. Like a lot of people, even people that aren't part of the Sci-Fi Society, they're just really talking about this film. And in fact, when they start making claims that it's the best thing since Endgame, I have to raise my ears, my little wolf ears. I have to raise them because that's high praise, because that really is like the pinnacle of the Marvel universe that we know it. We've had a lot of ups and downs since then, although I would say Marvel's kind of more of an upswing right now. Some people may not have liked Wolverine and Deadpool or Thunderbolts, but I like those two movies really a lot. In fact, Thunderbolts is one of my favorites of the year already. And so but knowing the history from when I kind of liked the first one, when you had Chris Evans and Jessica Alba there doing that, the second one I didn't care too much about. That was the one that actually introduced the Silver Surfer in that one, but second one wasn't that great for me. But the first one was great. I didn't mind it at all. But when you watch both these films, they're entirely presented differently because the first one, obviously, they were throwing in a lot more jokes and a lot more quips. And of course, Evans has a knack for comedy. So his version of Johnny Storm is pretty radical, which was fun to see him when he was back in Wolverine and Deadpool. But this is like a beginning. It's like really begins. And plus, one of the things that Jedi, I think, told me was approaching this film is that it's taking place in another part of the universe. So we're not talking in the same universe as the Avengers that we know. This is in a whole other part of the universe. And some people really hate the multiverse stuff, but I actually like it. And the reason why I like it is because it's stuff like this. Like you can actually be more versatile and you can do more with the characters that are already existing. So one thing I'll talk about a little bit later regarding Doctor Doom, obviously, is how they can intertwine that if they want. But they don't necessarily have to because, again, this takes place in an entirely different universe. So basically the plot here is forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, the Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer. Now, clearly, they made Silver Surfer a girl in this one. Again, I don't have any problems with it because it doesn't really affect the character at all. There's no wokeism. There's no like, well, female power. It doesn't go that route. And that's what makes it great. This is why you can have diversity and inclusiveness without fucking being lecturing. Like we don't have to go there. So the fact that you can do this and have a strong, in this case, an anti-hero and Silver Surfer, and she can be, or he can be any sex they want. It doesn't fucking matter. And it doesn't really change the way that the character is. Like I kind of knew from the other movie, like I never followed the comics straightforward, but I knew from the movie, the second one I saw like way back in the day, that he's more of an anti-hero. And I kind of knew that from the cartoons back in the day too, I think. So it didn't shock me that they were going to go this route with this particular character either. This is directed by Matt Shakman, and I don't even know what else he's done. Let me take a quick peek here because he's a pretty young dude. Okay, so he did WandaVision, which is good. I really like that. Did Game of Thrones, so that's good too. I mean, I didn't get to see that one that much, but It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So he has some pretty good credits to his name. Oh, he's been working on Monarch Legacy of Monsters, so I like this guy already. Yeah, so I didn't really know who all was doing this. The Boys, I'm a big fan of that. So this guy, I mean, of course, those are like episodes. So he does certain episodes. But either way, he's had his hands full in some stuff that I really, really like. So that doesn't surprise me after I come out of the theater seeing this, really, to be honest. So our cast, we have a lot to work with here. Pedro Pascal plays Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby plays Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn plays Johnny Storm. Eben Moss Bachrach is playing Ben Grimm. And then Julia Garner plays Shalabal, which is Silver Surfer. And also we have Natasha Lyonne playing Rachel Rosman, which if you don't know her, didn't recognize her, I did immediately, of course, because I'm a big fan of American Pie, which is a movie from 1999, comedy. But she also went on to do Russian Doll, which is a series a lot of people talk about. I haven't seen it, but they say she's incredibly good in that. I never really had a problem with her acting, so I was not surprised that she was good in this either. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Most people are going to remember him as Eddie from Stranger Things, season 4. So he was like one of the favorite things of that season. So great actor. I did see him in Gladiator 2, a little bit different role for him, but this one, he did a pretty good job. And again, going back to the rumors and the outrage over this was, everyone expects Johnny Storm to be this like big time womanizer. Well, this film really doesn't worry about his womanizing or even like the fact that, they don't really touch on it too much. He has like this thing and this fascination with the Silver Surfer. Obviously that plays a part in this story, but he's not making quips like, hey, you got nice boobs, shit like that. Like it was a lot different character than what Chris Evans played. So, but he wasn't like, emasculated or anything. He was quite macho in this anyway. So it didn't really change much. And so the people that were crying about it, yeah, that's false alarms, folks. Don't listen to that shit at all. So yeah, I gave you a synopsis of the plot. So every character in this and every actor did a great job. This was like a really, really strong cast. Kind of surprised me. I kind of expected kind of be half and half maybe, but everybody was great in this. Even Grimm, who they kind of follow a certain thing, the same thing that he did in the first film, where he's kind of trying to find love, even though he looks the way he looks, but he's not. We have to take this as a fact that we've had the Fantastic Four for about 4 years when we start this movie, so we don't have to go through all the origin story. They do kind of rewind and kind of say how it became that, and it was a nice clip. The thing about this I really loved was the aesthetic, was like the 1940s and 50s, and so you had all these like nostalgic looking posters and the signs and stuff, and the way they dressed, the cars, everything. So very old school, early stages of almost like Captain America in a lot of ways. The first Captain America, the way they did that, but they did that with this, which was really nice. And you know, Pedro's and Vanessa's chemistry was amazing in this. This is outside of Mandalorian. This is my favorite Pedro role. Like this is the best one he's done for me outside of that. Like I know he's done a lot of shit. This is the best one outside of Mandalorian for me. But the person that steals this movie for me is Vanessa Kirby. Like fucking amazing. Amazing. I didn't really know like a whole lot about her. I mean, I was so used to Jessica Alba because obviously she's very beautiful. But I did remember seeing Vanessa in the Mission Impossible Fallout movie. She also did, I'm trying to find it now because Kevin Lambert of the Entertainment Headquarters and I did a review for a movie called Kill Command, and she plays like a synthetic robot in that, right? So she does an amazing job. And it's an underrated sci-fi flick for anybody that likes that kind of shit. Like if you want to go back and watch a review, fucking fantastic movie. Very cool. That was a great recommendation by Kevin Lambert there on that one. So she does a very good job, and it looks beautiful, obviously. But this, again, one of the things that people touched on about this film is how it does with the emotional aspect. So this one compared to the first run of Fantastic Four is a lot different. The first one, you can say the script was kind of flimsy because it was more about inserting comedic stuff throughout it with the action. This one wants to build an actual great story. Something that we saw with like Endgame, of course, as well as I would say Guardians 3, where you put a very strong structured script and plot, and it all means something. So in this case, with this plot, the Fantastic Four have defended the Earth for the last 4 years, and they're very popular, friendly. People really love them. They can go walk down the street and say hi. Kids love them. And then, of course, they find out Vanessa's pregnant by, Richard Reed Richards, excuse me. And so that they have this concern about whether the baby's going to be a superhuman or normal. And so it's something new because they've been trying to have kids prior to that and just wasn't working. But all of a sudden, boom, we got it. I don't know. Someone can clear this up me because I couldn't rewind the movie while I was watching. So for those that have good eyes and quick eyes, when she looks at her, I don't know what you would call it, the thing that would tell you if she's pregnant or not, the little gizmo. I could have swore it said Stark Industries on it, but I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong with that. I thought it said it on it. I just didn't. It was too fast, so I couldn't catch it. So maybe you did, and maybe I'm just wrong, or maybe it was, and I saw what I saw. But let me know if you saw that or caught that. I thought it said Stark Industries on there, but either way. And to keep in mind, Stark isn't even in this universe, but who knows? Like they didn't really mention it, so we don't even really know. I don't know. Either way. So they have this kid, or she's pregnant, so she's going to have a baby, and it's a boy. And the idea is, I'm not going to give away too many spoilers, but I do have to set up the plot for you so you kind of know what's going on. So they she's pregnant while they have to figure it out now. this is when Silver Surfer comes down and says, "Hey, your planet's doomed to be destruction by Galactus. Like it's doomed to happen." So obviously, their idea is to kind of go out to him and try to stop him out there before he gets to Earth. And I won't give too much away with that, but there is an ultimatum given by Galactus, and he's basically saying, "I'll spare your planet if you give me that baby." And again, I won't give too much away with that, but he wants the baby, and he'll spare the planet. Of course, any parents not wanting to do that, and there's some tension on Earth because of the fact that they make this choice, right? So they have to kind of figure another way to deal with Galactus. And of course, Johnny is trying to rationalize and understand the Silver Surfer because he kind of likes her. At least he's very intrigued by her. So he's been trying to and she has her own kind of language that she speaks, and he's trying to figure that out. But yeah, this movie is great. It does a lot of great stuff with the emotional aspect of it. I enjoyed that a lot. It's definitely kind of makes you a little teary-eyed at certain points in it. There are 2 post-credit scenes, so be looking for that when you go to watch this. And I'll only say this just briefly. I don't know if this Franklin kid, the baby, is actually part of a real character in the comic. So if you're going to watch this and you're watching this, and let me know if you're a big comic nerd, if you know like the history. Does Franklin become a big part of this storyline, or is it just something that the producers inserted into this movie? Like, is it something different? It's the first I've heard of the baby. So, but it is interesting because both Galactus and Doctor Doom have a very high interest in Franklin. So let me know if he's actually something that plays a part in the comic book series. I don't know. I don't read the comics. I can only go by the movies that I'm watching. So nevertheless, highly recommend this film for people to go out and see. If it's still in theaters by you, go see it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's going to make my best of 2025 list without a doubt. I'm not sure where I'm going to rank it yet, but certainly nice to get another film that I can add to the list. I mean, I'm still kind of getting there. I've only got this is like the 6th film or 7th film. So I'm still trying to find some more to put in my top 10 list at the end of the year. But some people ask me, well, have you seen Superman? No, I have not. And one of the reasons for it is that movie, when it comes to reviews, is a lot more hot and cold. Like there's just some people that like it, even within my sci-fi society that like it, but there's also a lot of negative reviews about it. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to rush out to see that one. I might just wait for it to come to streaming before I check it out. But this one, everyone's on the same page that I've heard. Either they're in the sci-fi society or not. Everyone loves this film, and that's the reason why. It's like really, really good. So definitely a different take. I don't know how. I talked about this before a little bit. I'm not going to drag it out, but we know that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doctor Doom because we saw him do that at Comic-Con, and we know Avengers Doomsday is coming out. But the question will be, if they're going to keep this a whole separate universe from the other stuff, then you can kind of get away with using Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom without having any conflict of interest where, for instance, if for whatever reason Doctor Strange shows up in this universe and he sees Doctor Doom, well, he's going to see Tony Stark. If they do that, which I don't mind, I don't really mind the idea behind it, because with the multiverse, you can take any version of that person, Tony Stark, you can make them evil. You could. And there could be some cool backstory with why a more darker Tony Stark would become Doctor Doom. Not everybody likes that idea. I get that. That's fine. But for me, if Downey's going to be the character, either keep this universe totally separate from the other one so that there's no confusion with the facial stuff, or make it to where if and when they actually connect them to the other universe, that they will say, oh, that's Tony, but it's not Tony. Like, we know our Tony died, but this is a different one. So it just depends. Like, I don't mind if they do it that way, but if they choose not to, that's fine too, as long as they separate the universes. Like, as long as we're not crossing over, which won't make a lot of sense because that's something that Marvel's been doing the entire time is crossing shit over. So who knows what the fuck's going to happen, but highly recommend the film. Go check it out. A 10 out of 10. See you next time on the Military Radio Podcast.